Thank you for watching this video on how to create a reservation in Aaxsys. While this has a lot of different parts to it, I'm going to show you the basic information to create your reservation in Aaxsys. The most important thing to note is that all information when you make a reservation comes from the unit setup page of the unit that you are going to place the guest in. So if you haven't seen the video on how to do a setup page in Aaxsys for a unit, you'll need to watch that first. Once you've done that, I'll show you how to make the reservation in Aaxsys. So I can choose either the reservation board or the reservation board all options. I prefer the reservation board all options because it does allow you a greater ability to sort your board. But I'll go ahead and click it. And I'm just going to go ahead and proceed. I could sort it a number of different ways, but I'll say proceed. In order to make a reservation in Aaxsys, you need to choose a unit that does not have a guest in it during the time period that you want. If you're not sure if it's a long reservation and you're not sure whether this unit has guests in it down the road, you can click on it here. So in order to make the reservation, you're going to click on the unit. If I want to, I can click on Apartment Reservation Calendar. And this is a way that I can look to see in advance if there's anybody in there. This is showing completely free. If there were guests in here, it would be in red. So you would know that there were guests in here. So I'm going to click back. So I'm going to click on New Reservation. If I want to, I can also click on View This Apartment. So you can take a look at it and make sure this is what you were thinking of. Here's the description. Here's the pictures. Once you've verified, yes, this is the place that I had in mind, you can go ahead and reserve that unit. So let me go ahead and make a click on New Reservation, and the information board comes up. So let me go ahead and put my own name in here. Now the reservation in Aaxsys always assumes a 30-day booking. You can always override that in Aaxsys when you make the reservation. What I like to do is I like to put my cursor here after the first name and then click the tab button. By doing that, you will avoid a clunkier calendar that comes up. It's better just to type the dates in than to use the calendaring here. Both work fine, but it's just better to type the dates. So I will go ahead and put 01/13/2017, and then you're going to put the end date here. So we'll put 06/01/2017. You're going to put in the number of people in the unit. If they have pets, you can click this box, and then Aaxsys will check to make sure that the unit does accept pets. Now we come down to the company drop-down box. This will be a separate video, but you'll want to set up your companies in Aaxsys. These are people that book with you all the time. They might call you every time they need somebody. They're going to call you. So you're going to want to have them built into the system so that you don't have to type this information in. So in this case, I'll go ahead and put in AMSI, and under that company, this person comes up. And their phone number is here, their address is here. Now the rate comes from the unit in Aaxsys. So this unit here, it's the one we selected here. Here it is, 140-SIM-101. It has brought in a rate from the unit setup page of $4,500. If I wanted a daily rate instead, I can click D, and the daily rate will come up. So it's like a toggle switch. I can go back and forth. So whether you need a monthly rate or a daily rate, that will come up. We can also default it in your system. If you always, or most of the time if you do daily rates, we can set it up so that it will always display a daily rate. And then if you want to change it, you can. So the rent comes in from the unit setup page. In this case, it's $4,500. If you want to give them a discount, because they're a good client, you want to give them a discount, you can say you can have the unit for $42.50, and you simply just back over the figure and put in the amount. Now the deposit of $300 in this case also comes in from the unit setup page. If you decide this is a good client, you're not going to collect a deposit from them, you simply just delete it or backspace over it. Then it has a departure service fee of $150, which in this case would be cleaning plus insurance. You could change this to say cleaning fee, $150. The tax rate, typically I don't put the tax rate here unless it's a very simple tax under 30 days, a single tax. So we'll talk about that in another video. But for this purposes, since it's over 30 days, it doesn't matter anyway. Okay, now because I selected this company, all of this information filled out, all of the contact information. You can put in the credit card information if you want at this point. And there's something called reservation events that I can talk to you about briefly here, although I'll do a separate video on that. A reservation event is something you want to see graphically on the reservation board. So we have choices here: pet in the unit, weekly maid service, or this is a third-party guest. So you can set up to 6 different choices for your reservation events. That's a separate video, but I just wanted to bring it up. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this reservation. And now what comes up is Aaxsys wants to know when the next billing period start date is. So if a guest came in on 1/13, the question I would have for you is, do you prorate to the first of the month? Or do you go ahead and do 30-day increment billings no matter when they come in? So I would say most companies will prorate to the first. There's no right or wrong answer here. You either do that or you don't. It's not a problem in Aaxsys. It's easy to change. So I'm going to click here and assume that they prorate to the first. Okay, so they're coming in the 13th, and then the next billing start date will be February 1st. So this is going to invoice all the way through the month of January.